Welcome back to Technique WOD. Today we're going to talk about transitioning from the first pull to the second pull on the snatch. My name is Doug Larson. This is Alex Macklin. He's one of our faction and barbell shrug weightlifting coaches, and he's also one of the coaches in the 6-month muscle gain challenge. Today we're going to cover how to transition from the first pull into the power position so you can start the second pull of the snatch. Gives you the best leverage possible so you can lift the most weight possible. So first, Alex is going to demo one snatch for you just so you can see what we're talking about. There you go. All right, first thing, we're going to have Alex demonstrate what the transition is supposed to look like. This is all said with the assumption that he's going to have a good starting position, a good first pull. That way when he goes into his transition, he's in a good position to start with. So go ahead and do kind of a slow motion first pull and transition. Good starting position right here. First pull off the floor. Once he starts pushing his knees under the bar, that's when the transition starts. So he finishes his transition with the bar right on his hips. Good, go and take a break. So again, we already have videos for the starting position and for the first pull. Right now we're covering just the transition specifically. So go ahead and finish your first pull and then show just the transition. So we'll pause you at the very beginning and end of the transition and exaggerate a little bit just so everyone can see exactly what we're looking at. So first pull, pauses right there. So that's the end of the first pull. He's going to transition from there basically to the end of the transition where, again, the bar is touching him right on the crease of his hips. This position here is the power position. That's where he is the strongest, and he's going to be able to get a triple extension, ankles, knees, and hips. He's going to extend all the way and then eventually shrug himself underneath the weight and catch the bar overhead in the case of the snatch. So that's how to do it correctly. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go through each piece of that. We're going to show you the correct way to do it and one of the common errors or mistakes that people make for each little piece. So what happens oftentimes is that people will cut their first pull off too early. So if he actually backs up a little bit, go ahead and go down a tiny bit. He cuts his first pull off a little bit early and goes to transition, and then he bangs the bar into his thigh where it's connecting and disconnecting off of his thigh and not off of his hips. So bang it off your thigh. There you go. So you can see there, the bar is hitting him in the middle of the thigh and it's not hitting him on his hips. And in that case, two things will happen. Number one, the weight's going to feel heavier because his leverage is worse than it would be if it was hitting him on his hips. And number two, if I'm here and the bar should be hitting me here, and now it's hitting me here instead, well, it's about 3 or 4 inches more forward. So I'm going to miss the lift in front of me because I'm bouncing it off a position that's further out in front of me. You can see here versus my knee, well, that's, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches. If I bounce it off here, then the bar's going to come up right here. Then I'm going to have to go out and chase it, and then I'm going to miss it out in front of me. So you want to finish your first pull. We want a very long first pull. Basically, you want to keep your first pull position covering the bar, bent over as long as you can, and then the last second you shift into that power position. Okay? Go ahead and show a good one again where you're not banging it off your thighs. You're banging it off right where your hips bend, right in the crease of your hip. So good first pull, and then it comes right up into his hip. Again, look where the bar connects and disconnects, right on his hip. There you go, beautiful. All right, point number 2. We talked about in the first pull video, we talked about rocking towards your heels throughout the entire first pull. So if he's here, he's very heel heavy, and as he goes to transition, he wants to stay heel heavy. Okay? A common error, and actually go ahead and pull and lose the weight out in front of you. A common error is if you don't rock towards your heels enough, and then you try to transition, some people will go like this. They'll stand and then they'll go like that. And as they push their knees under the bar, their heels come off the ground, and then the bar bangs off their thighs, and they lose the lift out in front of them. So do a bad one and lose the lift out in front of you. There you go. So that wasn't even that bad. Do it worse. There you go. So you can see as he's going through his first pull, his weight is coming onto the ball of his foot. As he stands, he's coming out here, and then when he goes to transition, everything's falling forward. Okay? He's gonna miss the lift out in front of him. So one more time, slow motion, rock towards your heels, transition, and when that bar connects your hips, you should be very heel heavy with that vertical torso. There you go, beautiful. So here, just to exaggerate that point about pushing your knees under the bar and getting to a vertical torso, see if I can not hit my mic. If I'm here and I stand to my first pull, right here, once I pass my knees, then I can start shoving my knees underneath the bar. That's a bit of an exaggeration. A little bit faster. I'm here, I'm in a good start position, hips are down, arms are straight, shoulders are back. I come off the floor, start rocking towards my heels, and then once I pass my knee, I shove my knees under the bar, shoulders are still back, I have a vertical torso, and my heels are down, and I'm very heel heavy, okay? All right, so last point, in the first pull video, a separate video from this one, we talked about going very slow off the floor, slow enough where you can get into a perfect transition, a perfect second pull position. So what we want to do is go slow enough off the ground to stay in that perfect position, but then once we get to the transition, assuming again we're in a good position to transition, we want to speed up and go very explosive for the whole rest of the movement. So if you go slow off the ground, once he passes the knees and the bar's coming towards his hips, he's going to explode and speed up. So slow and then fast. There you go. Slow, fast. There you go. We've done a lot of half partial movements. Go and do another full snatch so they can see that. So you see you slow off the ground, maybe go extra slow off the ground, and then explode once you get to mid-thigh. There you go, beautiful. So if you can't snatch just like that, slow off the ground, and then once you pass your knee and the bar starts to get to mid-thigh, then you can explode and pull a fast movement still. If you can't do it like that, then your technique probably isn't on point. If you have to go fast off the floor to complete the movement, then your snatch is probably not perfect quite yet. So that's it for the transition. We're going to come back and we're going to do another video on the second pull. Right now we have a starting position, first pull, transition. We're going to have a second pull and a catch video for the snatch, and then we also have a big overview video. So if you want to check out those videos, go to barbellshrug.com and click on Technique WOD, and you can watch those in the video library on the site.